Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is VlogsBoutNothin. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy night to join me. I really appreciate it. And we're going to be talking tonight about migrant crime, which was inspired to me as a topic to speak about because of the John Oliver episode that recently premiered, I think, on Saturday, 2 days ago. And, him highlighting the silliness of migrant crime and just how misleading it is, and how there really is no category or categorical official term used by any people that gather this or aggregate this data that says migrant crime. If you didn't already know, the channel itself, I myself am an advocate or proponent of open global borders. I've provided the numbers before here on the channel. I'll do it again, link in the description below. But just by not having any borders in the world, the global GDP can raise within 1 year by nearly $100 trillion. And so, money talks, right? And so that's always been my argument as presenting empirical evidence as to why the borders should all be open around the world. Much less, getting into Juarez from Las Cruces. You feel me? Like, seriously, like, borders are created because people are not interested in working with each other. And instead of fixing their own problems, often just as children would when they're not taught in a way that's meaningful how to not lie, you know, there's problems in the world. And so people are going to make up other people to blame, villains, right? And in this case, the Republican Party is going out of its way to villainize and demonize migrants. And here's the problem with that is that it's all false. It's all absolutely demonstrably false. None of it's real. Like, if you think that migrant crime is a thing, then like seriously, please do some more research. Like, because it's not. Nobody comes to this country to rape people. Nobody, this isn't, and if it is a thing, it occurs on such a small level that it is in no reason, way to, like, Trump has promised as a Republican platform key to victory to perform the largest mass deportation in United States history. Again, it's just so backwards thinking. It's that there are people alive today who have memories of people that were older than them talking about how the world was so much more unified when the border from Mexico to America was essentially non-enforced, right? And also in Canada as well. We share only two borders. We have the luxury in the United States of only sharing our territorial land claims with two countries, and we still can't get along. There's still about to be a president who's going to get elected on the false pretense that migrants are coming over from different parts of the world, namely Mexico, and causing a bunch of problems. You feel me? This statistic is on the John Oliver video below, link in the description. And but close to 92% from my recollection of all people that get busted bringing drugs to and back from to and from America are United States citizens. You feel me? Like, it's non believable and nonsensical to blame migrants for America's problems. It's so baseless and it's so distracting. It's so distracting because we all want somebody to blame. We do. We see crime, we see poverty, we see politicians that are billionaires arguing about dimes and nickels. We have eyes, we see things. And I just feel like one of those things that we see is the fact that America's a melting pot. We've all accepted that. We're all essentially migrants ourselves who, rebelled against a government that was in control of us to give us the freedoms that we do, the freedoms that many people still die over for, to ensure and so forth. And, like, migrant crime is not a thing. It's just not a thing. And I wish people would stop talking about it like it was a thing because, you know, again, people come to America for a better life. As an American, I think we can all agree with that statement, right? Right? I mean, isn't that a pretty common ground? Like, we all here in America, we believe in hard work and being honest and all of these values, right? But yet we're very picky on, like, and we specify, we're very discriminate in who we want to villainize as opposed to who we want to incentivize and reward. And again, when billionaire boys are up there talking about how migrants are the ones to blame for America's problems is so un-American. Like seriously, like that is some straight up garbage. Like let's talk about America. Let's fix America's problems, right? And again, America's problem isn't migration because migration is a made up arbitrary policy by men who at best are faulted in a way that does not allow them to think about diplomacy and how people need to work together in an ever more growing, unified global economy. Now is not the time to become isolationist. It is not one of those lectures in American history where we discuss isolationism versus whatever the other one was, versus being a part of the action or whatever. Many times in our history, we have turned a blind eye to what's going on in the world and have become isolationists and to no other people's damage other than to our own. Seriously, like being isolationist is not a good way to be in a world where you arguably are the number one leading player, and two, you have responsibility, not just to American citizens, but if you're a global superpower, which is what most Americans, including myself, think that we are, you got responsibilities. And it's not just to making sure that we're protected here in the United States of America and free from, people coming and trying to take us over, but we also need to be unified in a sense that our neighbors are our neighbors. And we literally cannot change that even if we wanted to. Like, seriously. And the fact that America has the luxury of only having two bordering nations that share territorial claims with us is beyond convenient. You feel me? I mean, you think places in Europe or in any other place around the world have the luxury of, deciding that migration is all of a sudden a bad idea? I mean, seriously, get over it. Get over it. Like, we are very privileged and live a very fortunate life here in America. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm from a state that shares the largest area of landmass with another country. Like that's me. Like I'm from there. Other than the western edge that border or the eastern coast of Alaska that borders Canada, New Mexico is like boom, like a big part of Mexico. You get it? New Mexico? There's some relation there. And migrants are good people. That's the other thing. Is migrants are good people, okay? They do the work that you don't want to do. Those Mexicans putting up those brick walls, they're trust me, they're not doing it out of a love for putting up cylindrical brick walls. I mean, on some level, I'm sure that a lot of those guys enjoy doing that. I enjoy doing labor like that at times, but to say that if you didn't offer them a different, higher paying job that required less toll on their body, and to think they might not actually consider that is like beyond me, because that's why they're doing it, because Americans don't want to do it. You understand what I'm saying? Americans, people. So what is that? We discriminate against certain Americans. We think that Mexican Americans they're cool to work in our kitchens. They're cool to be our housekeepers. They're cool for labor positions. They're cool to be farmers. But the moment we want them to have rights, we're gonna have to start this whole production of becoming naturalized and making sure that the people we're vetting are more knowledgeable about our country than we are, right? Like, ask a naturalized citizen the history of this country. They're going to sound about as patriotic as you've ever heard anyone sound in their life. These guys know the amendments, they know the Bill of Rights, they know the Gettysburg Address. Like, I mean, holy potatoes. And these are all arguably ESL people, English as a second language learners, who speak with heavy accents, who have to pass these crazy tests. And, while all the while we birth our own American children here and then, indoctrinate them to hate their fellow student because we don't want to talk about all the mistakes white people have made if you're a white kid, because we don't want your parents' feelings to get hurt. We just want to perpetuate that whole critical race theory demonization because we're all unaccountable for our own actions. That's the best way to handle things. Seriously, let's continue to do that and see how far it takes us. Migrant crime is not a thing. Fox News is an absolute terrible sort of place to, get any information, arguably, but moreover, any information that's reliable on crime, because it's obviously skewed in a way that is serving the Republican Party and their platform and their agenda to get rid of all the people that are doing all the work we don't want to do. Yeah, let's do that, guys. Let's do that. Because I'm sure we're all going to be lining up for these jobs once we deport all of these people that are working here and aren't raping or murdering people. This is what they're not doing. They actually have come to work. And if we as a people decide that we don't want these people that we allow in a hypocritical way to come work for us, but we don't want here, like, again, that's weird. And I don't want to be a part of that Gen X or boomer conversation because that's weird. Y'all are weird. That's a weird way to think about the world. So thanks for the Cold War. Thanks for archaic policies. Thanks for, reneging on Supreme Court decisions that have been, a big part of why America is America for the last half a century. Like, seriously, thanks. You know what I mean? Like, you've done so much for the world. Let's make sure that it's on fire before you die. You feel me? That would complete the sort of cycle that all of these, at best, marginal people think about politics when it concerns their generation. And yeah, I'm talking to you boomers and Gen Zers or Gen Xers, forgive me, Gen Xers. Because again, it's those people that continue to perpetuate the kind of archaic political system that this country is forced to be a part of and not informed consent. This is the kind of consent that's like, take it or leave it, it's gonna happen. Put a smile on your face and take it. That's better. That's not the way to run a country. So, migrant crime is not a thing. Again, it's real important that if you are going to vote Republican, that you understand that a vote for Donald Trump is literally a vote for the deportation of the most humans ever in this country back to their home countries. And again, I ask you, what exactly is that going to get done? Do you think that crime is going to go away? Do you think that people are going to stop raping and murdering people? Do you think that Americans are going to want to take these jobs that are upended because no one else wants to do them in the first place? I mean, seriously, ask yourself these questions. And if you, for some reason, have an answer to them in a way that you feel is justifiable, well, then, hey, that's why we want to teach critical race theory. And I mean that, right? Because you're a part of the problem. I hope that you guys have a lovely evening. Thank you so much to all the new viewers and subscribers. I really appreciate it. Regardless of what your political beliefs are or whatever, you're always welcome here. We're just simply discussing nothing in a way that we have a legal right to, which is, that good old First Amendment. And while, I'm sure some people are going to get their feelings hurt and so forth, I may remind everybody that, getting your feelings hurt isn't exactly criminal behavior. And that if you're unwilling to be flexible in how you think as a human being, well, then we probably shouldn't be watching the channel anyway, because we talk about a lot of things that challenge the way conventional thinking is done, most notably by, your Gen Xers and your boomers, right? Because it's those policies that have made the world what it is today. And I don't want to be a part of a generation that continues to exacerbate the problems instead of stopping for just 1 second, recognizing what we have to do, and then moving forward to do those goals. Again, I don't have time to talk about deportation. We all shouldn't have time. There's better things to concern ourselves with, okay? Seriously. Like, a lot of other things, including crime committed by American citizens against other American citizens. Like, seriously, like, let's work on that instead of trying to make up problems that don't exist so that we can elect people into office that are going to do nothing but cause trouble and do so in a way that is blatant, that's arrogant, and that is in no way a reflection of how America really is. America's not that way. We're better than that. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thanks again for watching all the videos. New subs, new viewers, I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night, okay? Bye.